are right now in 2023 and how a lot of our legacy burdens are really the issue why a lot of Black, brown, and indigenous people are not able to scale. Yes, I said it. So this is all about Black and brown women. This is all about Black, brown women and men. If you choose to listen and hear it without actually hearing the word woman, just coming in and listening to the insight, because I found that a lot of times when I'm speaking, if men come in, they tend to want to battle about who has it worse. Number one, that's based in sexism. It doesn't really matter who you think has it worse, whether it's the Black man or the Black woman. That's irrelevant to the conversation that we're having. So I just want to cut that off before we even get here, because what is really important is how we are conditioned to fight really hard in any space that we step into. And really it's based off of a cultural and a generational legacy that we are bringing forth, when for real, it just doesn't have to be as hard as we think it is. We're used to and conditioned to working in the corporate paradigm. So if you're looking at, let's start with this. And I know because I do this all the time. You know how you be looking at slavery movies and you be like, not another damn slave movie. Is we still talking about slavery? Is we still talking about racism? Guess what? You damn right we are. You damn right we are. We're going to keep on talking about it because really it wasn't that long ago, number one. Number two, if you think that we are past it, you are delusional. Sorry, this is probably not your conversation. Number three, if you are not already teaching your children, I'm going to just put this out here because you know I'm an advocate for the kids. If you're not already teaching your children about who they are as Black and brown people, about your true culture and where we are truly from, if we're not talking about Africa, talking about inventions, talking about Egypt, hey, you out of order and you out of line. You should never send your kids to a public school system that is going to teach them more about themselves than you do. Very, very important key point that I really want to make and I really want to stress, because I believe that is so critical and so important, because when you understand who you are and that you are actually being fit and shaped into a mold of a patriarchal society. And when I talk about patriarchal society, I'm talking about cisgenders, men. So that means that these are men who are born men. This is what the society is set up and based off of, that they get preferential treatment regardless. Yes, men, if you are here, I know you're going to want to argue and stomp your little feet. Well, Black men don't get it. Black men don't get it. Excuse me. Yes, you do. You also get a different treatment than Black women actually receive, and women of color. Sorry, it just is what it is. So when we're talking about legacy burdens, there are 4 of them, okay? And I want you to be very clear on these legacy burdens. And I'm going to look down, and because I wrote notes on this. I ain't even playing no games. I do not want to miss anything. So we have materialism, we have the patriarchy, and then we have individualism. I want to go through them one at a time. But what is all of the isms based in? No matter which way you look at it, all the isms, whether we're talking about classism, sexism, casteism, what are the other, ableism, whether we're talking about all isms, any type of homophobia, fat phobia, xenophobia, any disliking people because they're from different countries. All of these things are based in racism, okay? All of these things are used to keep us divided. All of these things are used to keep us still playing on the cotton field. The difference is that the cotton field is no longer the cotton field. The cotton field became the manufacturing, the industrial, and then it became what we are in right now, which is more of the technology age. So we had the farming, then the industrial age, and now we have what we call the technology age. The technology age is just a modern, an advancement form of conditioning the people to work for the cause of the nation and as a collective, right? Okay, so where do we start with our conditioning, our understanding, our learning? Our first understanding and learning is always going to come from our parents. Our parents are our first we are formed in the womb. Our mother has a certain way that she is, whether she is in an abusive relationship, whether she's under heavy stress. And if you are a Black woman in these days and times, and especially for our parents, which can also give you a sense of compassion for your mother, if you can feel into that imagine this 40 years ago. I'm 47. Imagine this 47 years ago. Think about that, because honestly, that's working 9 to 5. That's that whole paradigm of a culture where the women entered the workforce and in the 70s, and they were all fucking secretaries, okay? And that's how you were going to step in for the most part, okay? And so remember when Dolly Parton had the movie 9 to 5? Do you remember that? It's still going on. Yes, it is going on today, Nicole, and it's a big deal, and it affects all of us. It's not just affecting. It affects all of us because it even affects white women as well. Slavery affected white women. It affects all of us, and the only place that I really feel that have a leg up in this society is white men. And really, if you really look at it, the way they classify whites, it's like Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, other. America is the only place where you will see, except for the UK, but guess what? We got it from them. You know what I'm saying? Classifying people by a color code, like a color card. So if you go to Africa, what do they say? If you ask an African where they're from, they'll say, I'm from Nigeria. They'll tell you what their tribe is. If you go to Ireland, they'll say, I'm Irish, I'm Russian, I'm this, I'm that. They tell you what these norms are, but if you're born in America, you're white. So now we're all grouped up into one thing, right? Well, that's so they could create a majority. Okay. And so when you have a majority and you're 76% of the population, well, you win, right? You win. So my point in even just talking about this is that we feel as if these things are over, but we fail to realize that we're being conditioned at every level from when we come out of our mom's womb, because she was conditioned. She's 47 years ago. Imagine her having a kid, the environment to which she was living in. When I think about my mom and what did she have to deal with when she was dealing with my father? What did I experience even when I was in the womb? And then when she had me, at 7 years old, I was a latchkey kid. Like, I had a little string around my neck with the key, and you come in the house by yourself at 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? So we're conditioned into, as a female, taking care of yourself, doing for yourself by 7 years old. By 7 years old, I was standing at the sink, washing dishes. I was sitting my little black tail down in front of the TV with my own, little cup, making my little soup, a cup of noodle soup or whatever it was, and being quiet until my mom came home. And then my mom worked 2 jobs. And so that meant she came home at 9. My stepfather came home at 11. When I walked in the house, either my stepfather was leaving out, but I was there to care for myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's at the age of 7 years old on. And then after that, I'm caring for my siblings. I'm caring for, so always nurturing and caring for and conditioned to play this sexist role as a female and as a woman. So number one, as a woman, you are conditioned where I saw my brother had a lot more freedom. He was able to play video games, sleep till when he wants to. Shoot, my mama ain't let me sleep. Get up, clean up, clean up, clean up. Nag, 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 nag. Sleep? We didn't get that. But my brother was able to sleep, play video games, had a lot more freedom than what we had. So when I say men want to always jump in and chime in and talk about how hard Black men have it, I'm not denying your experience, but what I ask you to do is not deny ours. Don't deny how we are conditioned and the difference in the way that female children are raised and the difference between male children are raised. Don't deny the way that we are treated as Black, brown, women of color, people of color, indigenous people are treated here in this country. And don't deny the fact that these different types of caste systems even exist. And then there are generally issues that are put upon us in our own race, like colorism. Hispanics have a lot of this, especially Mexicans, like the lighter you are, the better you are. You even see that in our own culture right now. When you look at the rap music, how many dark-skinned women you see in rap? Come on now. And if she's not rapping herself, look at Chris Brown's videos. You ain't gonna see no dark-skinned chocolate women. You ain't gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? You hear Starbuck Wild talking about the lighter the better. The lighter better. And so you have this colorism that's going through in person throughout our society. So now not only are we divided by sex, so now we're arguing for position of who has it worse. Who wants to do that? Who argues about the position of who has it more fucked up? Who does that? As opposed to having compassion for each other regardless and just honoring the fact of your existence, because each of our experiences is so different, right? And so when we're looking at how we are conditioned, if you think about the subtlety of it all, you know, it's not in your face. It's not like exactly like somebody said it specifically, or maybe they did. Maybe they did. You know, watch out for white people. You can't trust white people. All that is like little seeds that are being implanted. And when those seeds are watered and flowered and you experience these things in corporate America, it closes in. It closes in and it begins to shape and mold how you respond, how you code your language, how you have to be a chameleon when you show up in their spaces, And then we actually are jockeying for how hard it is when it's hard, period. Okay, it's hard, period. We understand you, brothers. We know y'all got it hard. We get it. But do you get the position that we are in as well? And that it's not something to be jockeying over. It's something to actually have compassion for and compassion around, you know, because at the end of the day, when you look at black men, black women are subjugated to your abuse, to your microaggressions inside of our own culture. Does this make sense? Am I making sense? Please tell me I'm making sense. Somebody talk to me. Hey, Miss Nicole. Oh, thank you, Miss Nicole. Ooh, woo. Whoop, child, I said a lot, didn't I? And I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it, okay? Because this is so important for me. And I mean I'm saying a lot, but I really want it to be expressed in a compassionate way too, because I'm not here. If there's one thing I never want to do is I don't dog black men ever. You know, black males, that's a different story. Grow the fuck up. Okay. So I don't dog black men. I respect them in their space. But I respect their sovereignty, you know, but I respect us too. And a lot of times we don't get that in return in the way you show up in our spaces. And so if you're going to show up in my space, please know that it means no disrespect, but please at least honor the journey of your mother. Because I am a sister speaking to you and speaking on this platform, then you should understand that you had a mother at the other end of you. So understand her journey, even if you can't see yourself in me, see yourself in her because you are a part of her. Can you do that, please? Say amen for the people in the back, okay? And so when it comes to our conditioning, so we have the way that we are conditioned and trained in school, because really our education system is simple. It's just this simple. All you got to remember is the Pledge of Allegiance. That is what your school system is based off of. It is based off of a Prussia concept, and Prussia is now modern day Germany. Okay, Prussia before the Third Reich came in. Go ahead, do your own investigation, do your own research. Your boy Horace Mann, which is known as the father of education, started in Massachusetts, found Prussia and their model of the education system. And the reason that Prussia educated the people was because they wanted them to have an allegiance to the country. That was what was important. They were at war. They lost the war. They lost the war because the people were feeble-minded and ignorant and couldn't read, couldn't follow instructions, so nobody could give anybody any orders. So their whole point was to start to cultivate the children and to nurture them so that they could then understand how to follow the directives of the government, and so that they could support the country. That's what it's all about. That's what the education system is all about. That's why you have standards of learning. They want you to have basic education. So really, your children's education starts with you. Your children's conditioning starts with you. So if you put it off on the school system to educate your children fully, the truth of the matter is that you've left your children at the hands of the government. Okay, so that's on you. That's your responsibility. And so, no, not the teachers, honey, because you don't even know the teacher. Okay, you don't know the teacher. You know your mechanic better than you know your teacher. You ain't even figured out who she is. You ain't asking no questions. You don't know nothing about her. You don't know nothing about the concerns that she has in the classroom, that the classroom is too full, that there's not enough teachers in there, that they don't have enough assistants, that you don't know anything. So stop acting like you know your teacher. You don't. So you need to educate your kids. You need to stop coming to the back of the school system, because the school system doesn't back you. The school system backs the country because it's funded by the country, right? And so then follow the money. If you're bringing forward the school system, we're here at the school system, then the school system is here to teach you how to formulate into corporate America, because technology is the new norm for us, and no longer digging in the ditches, right? No longer factories. So they need you to work this field. They need you to cultivate into this, right? They need you to be here. So be here. And so what is higher education about? What is higher education about? Well, they need people to do the higher level jobs, right? Oh, but then here's the kicker. They want you to do the jobs, but they're not going to pay you to really do the jobs. And then if they give you a little something to do the jobs of the higher level people, they're going to turn around and charge you with so much student loans that you pay to them, okay? That goes back to who? The government. It's all feeding the system. And I have no problems with higher education. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration. I have a minor in psychology, and I am perfectly fine with my education. I wouldn't mind going back and having a master's degree, but I promise you one thing, I would not pay for it. I will not pay for it. No, because that is hard work, and I've learned more doing business and understanding business by getting a coach or a mentor or someone who can teach me business fundamentals than I learned in my bachelor's degree. They didn't tell me none of that. They didn't say none of that. They didn't tell nothing, not a damn thing about none of that. They didn't tell me how to start my own business. They didn't tell me how to run my own business. They didn't tell me any of that. Now, let me tell you, here's an interesting thing for you. And let me tell you why I know this to be true. I take on interns, several interns a year, and I'm not going to call them out, but from a major school in my town, the biggest school in my town, which is clearly a university, so I'm not going to say. And the department that I actually get my interns from, and when I intern, my job is to give them a job where they can actually have practical application, that they can actually say, this is something that I did, whether that is of interest to them. So if they're running my social media, if they are writing correspondence, newsletters, articles, blogs, if they are helping to go over the ad budgets, I want it to be practical. If we're talking about marketing and branding, it's, to me, a part of their learning, their understanding, their education, but to have it in a real life sense. I want you to know that these children, they're not really children. They're really adults. So they're like 25, 26, because they're finishing either a master's or their bachelor's, and they are coming out of the, I'm not going to say, because I don't want to call them out. I don't want to call them out because I have a lot of respect for this university, but at the end of the day, it is not practical. It is not useful, and these kids are coming out with degrees that they really have no practical understanding at all, because that's not really it's really for. It's not here for you to create your own business. It's not here for you to be so sustainable. And people are like, well, I don't use the government. I don't depend on the government. Oh, we all depend on the government, honey. Yes, you do. Because if you are not sufficient, if you are not in abundance, meaning you are not in overflow, trust me when I tell you this, there is some form of the government you are dependent on. That's why your kids in public education. That's why your kids in public education, because anybody who had the salt of their work do not want their kids in public education, okay? They would much rather have the time and the freedom to either homeschool their own kids, bring in someone to homeschool their own kids, or take their kids to a private monastery or private school to have a real education and to have the networks, the connections, and the opportunity to go to the next level, period. So as you can see, and as we move forward, it's still the same cycle. It's still the same conditioning. So back to those kids, when I looked at them and they would come work for me, they would ask me the damnedest things, like, okay, they would write out a email campaign, or they would write out a pitch deck, or they would write, we'll talk about branding and the branding strategy, and they would pitch it to me. They would pitch the branding strategy, and once it was done, I knocked all the holes in it and you know, shut them down, send them back to where they wanted to go. Their biggest issue was, well, I don't know how to bring it back to you. I don't know what to do now. What do you mean you don't know what to do? You know, you don't know they don't have the practical application. They don't have the talk, the knowledge, the usefulness, the communication skills, the people skills, the connection to even go out there and have a successful pitch, because actually they're not even conditioned to even do that in higher education. What they're conditioned to do is learn book knowledge, but not the ability to actually take it, apply it, and use it in everyday life and actually have the functioning skills to do that thing. So the problem with this is, when we come out of school and we go into corporate, we immediately believe that we got to start at the bottom of the totem pole. So I got to start as a receptionist and work my way up. I got to start at McDonald's, get some cashier experience. Then from a cashier, maybe I could get me a call center job. From a call center job, you know, maybe I can go work at one of the high-end retailers at Saks, and then maybe I can get to management level. And if I get to management level, I can take that management position, and I could then use that management position, those skills, to then go to the next level. It sounds right. It sounds right in all its practicality, you know, to actually take it step by step. You know, it takes time. You have to work hard. You have to earn it. Earn what? Success? Earn an opportunity? Yeah. Let's just put this to bed right now. When you went to school and you earned your degree and you began to work and cultivate yourself to come into the workforce, did that mean that you now are approved to be successful to go to work? Is that it? Or is it because you work hard? What says that you get to go to the next level? What says that you get to be successful? Better yet, what gives Jenny the ability to come out of her master's program and immediately apply for a director's position, get it at 25 years old? What qualifies her? The degree? Is that what qualifies her? That's interesting, because she has no people skills. She has no ability to be applicable, to apply it. She has no communication skills. She has no clue what she's doing. She's really relying on the 55-year-old executive assistant to really give her the help that she needs and the guidance and everybody else around her, because really she's learning on the job, because she really doesn't know. So is she really truly successful when she goes into work every day and she feels incompetent, not capable, because the experience that she got in school is not compatible to what the real job function is? So now she too as well gotta work hard, gotta hide. But is that really what needs to occur or what needs to happen? I don't believe that. It does not have to be hard, because the first issue that we have is that we do not believe in ourselves. You don't believe in yourself, and you do not have faith in the real skills and talents that you have. You don't believe it. And that is the first problem, that we have been conditioned to not believe in ourselves, but to believe in the system to which we must apply our skills and talents that have been cultivated from the education system for their purposes, not ours. So my question to you, what skills do you have? Give me 5 skills that you have. And when I'm talking about skills and talents and gifts, I'm talking about the things that you find so easy. People are always coming to you about it. People want you to help them with this thing because they don't even know how the hell you even do it the way that you do it. That's what I'm talking about. What are those 5 skills and talents that you have that you are really looking at and comparing, or not even looking at or considering at all? What are those skills and talents? I would love to know. I would love you guys to drop me a couple of hits. Hi, Heather. Hello, boo. I saw you pop in, pop out. I love you. I love all of you. I love all of you guys for hanging out with me, staying with me, hanging in here for this conversation, because y'all know I'm neurodivergent and this is ADHD sometimes be going all the way to the left. It be going to the left, but I'm trying to tell you I can get down with the get down. And so I don't really see any comments, but let's just say one of the things, and this is so important. We exhaust ourselves on acquiring skills, and we exhaust the most important, the most resourceful currency that we have, and it's not money. I heard this in somebody's, and it was so powerful to me. God, I've never seen the guy before, so I don't really know. I don't know if he wrote a book. I got to go back and look it up. But when he said this to me, I was like, whoa. We exhaust the most powerful currency. We let people misuse it, misappropriate it. We don't acknowledge it. And that's the currency of self. The currency that is in the energy that runs through us. We allow people to exhaust our time and our energy and our emotional capacity. He ain't say all that, but that's what I'm going to say. Okay? Our energy is our life force. It's our gift to everyone else. Hey, Mike Perry. Oh, Mike Perry. Thanks for joining me, dude. This guy is Mike Perry. If you don't know him, just tap in with him. He's a really cool dude. I've been watching in one of the coaching collectives that I'm a part of, Abby Cornell's 50K Coach's Way. And Mike Perry's a part of that group, and he's absolutely amazing. So solution finding, transcendental meta. Yes, you are. You are very good at all of this. And here's the deal, Mike. Working with energy. When I first saw you, Mike, and I came across the work you were doing, I immediately knew you were in your power and your purpose and what your mission was to do. You could take one look at you and be like, and make all the assumptions in the world, but as soon as you open your mouth, you know that's exactly what it is. And what I love about this is that Mike is an excellent example of what I am talking about stepping into your gifts. People minimalize having the solution finding, being able to find solutions, minimalize transcendental and meditation. Do you know how important meditation is to your life? Listen, if you don't meditate and don't understand meditation, and I'm not talking about sitting in the yoga position, I'm not talking about that. You need to look into meditation and breath work for real, for real. It is a big, 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 big deal. And working with energy, your currency, your energy body, we have been conditioned out of understanding who we are naturally, who we are meant to be in this world, because as soon as you came out of your mother's womb, the conditioning started. But you can never condition the soul, because the soul has something to do. It incarnated with a blueprint that is undeniably, unmistakably you. And we've been conditioned to misappropriate our energy and to misappropriate our gifts and talents, and to throw them down as if that is not an important fiber that we weave through the fabric of our collective consciousness. Now, let me say that in another way. You are an idea in the mind of God. God wanted to experience, so he created you. When he created you, your soul, it had a mission, a purpose, a plan, something to do, to experience, a unique design. When you were incarnated as this idea in the mind of God, you had everything that you needed to add to the collectiveness that is all of us, that is oneness. And I need you to understand and grok what I'm telling you here. Because when you disempower yourself by denying who you are based on who they want you to be, it is the biggest disgrace to God. And so the real deal is to figure out how to get back to who you are and to be honest about what you have to contribute to the collective, the oneness of all of us. Mike is here to help with energy and to help with transcendental meditation and to find solutions. I am here to nurture the collective. I am a nurturer. I am a visionary. I see big ideas, big visions when it comes to business. I see what we can be in regards to relationships and the relativeness of it all and how we can get back to being one and nurturing each other in a sacred union, in our sacred tribes and an understanding. That's my gift. So what is yours? 2 years ago, I would have told you that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my freaking life. Today, I make money in the easiest, most simplest way, the way that almost makes you feel guilty that you get to do this every day. And I'm like, I get to do this? What? You want to know about human design and how to use your energy and how to use it to get more closer to your children and how to cultivate relationships and how to nurture yourself and how to use your energy in the correct way? You want to know about that? You want to know why it is relative to relationships and to connectivity and how you can see your energy and your blueprint and your soul and why does it matter? You want me to tell you about that? Let's go. Let's go. I got you. You want me to tell you how you can figure out what your mission and your purpose is? Let's go. Let's go. But the crazy part is human design is just confirmation. It's just confirmation of something that you already deeply know. You are already intuitively guided. You are already divinely guided. It's already there in you. And we make it so hard because we've been conditioned to make it hard because they need your ass to be on the cotton fields that they call corporate America, sitting here doing this and not using your gifts, not using your talents. I'm not telling you to quit your job. That's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm telling you to do is be more inspired by who you are and what you have to bring to the table. I'm telling you to stop driving DoorDash. I'm telling you to stop making Uber freaking rich. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you to stop building brick and mortar businesses when things are done completely differently and it doesn't have to be that hard. What I'm telling you is what is your gifts and your talents and how can you educate and help somebody else in the place that you're supposed to be in while you work your corporate job with ease. It don't have to be hard. Why do we make it so hard? Because we've been conditioned by our parents that we got to work hard, that we got to grind, that we got to hustle, that you are not the same. You are not white. You are not a man. You can't do it. You got these kids. All these limiting beliefs and all these excuses about why we can't. Tell me why you can. Why you can. Yes, you need to understand what is holding you back. You need to understand that there's microaggressions that happen in your office that make you feel small, that make you feel like you can't do the same thing that they do, like they do, that you can't speak up and that you can't speak out. Yeah, it's happening to you. Yes, you are being sexualized on your job. Yes, it's happening to you. Yeah. Whether it's, sexism, ageism, classism, racism, capitalism, homophobia, fatphobia, xenophobia, whatever you want to go, we can go down the line and we can keep going and keep going. And yes, it's happening. But stuffing it isn't the answer. Honoring it is. Understanding your experience and your emotions behind it and letting the energy flow through you is. Being honest about your experience and honest about everyone else's. And understanding that we are all in this together and we are all conditioned to do it the hard way. But there is only a few who will decide that I can look at my experience and I can truly pick how I want to move forward. I don't have a desire to make it hard at all. I have a desire to do what I am here to do and to serve with a purpose. That's what my desire is. And to serve on purpose and to know what my purpose is. If you don't know what your purpose is, I suggest that you look at your human design. Your human design is free. Run your human design. Please. Run your human design. I mean, one of my goals is to really get people into understanding how to use and break down their own human design and how to use it as a guidepost to keep you at your true north. It is so important. You can figure out how to use your energy. You'll know what's the best way and the best business model for you. You can even use human design to figure out who is the best partners to partner with in business. It doesn't have to be hard. And you don't have to do it alone. That's another thing. Individualism is huge. We've been taught and conditioned that it's all about self, all about you, me, mine, my children, my home, me, my business. That is not the way we're going anymore. That is a 3D mentality. And as we rise into the 5D, you're going to see that there are a lot more collaborations. And if you have not noticed it, it is very subtle. But the successful people are collaborating. And they're not collaborating with the idea of me, me, me. They are collaborating with the idea of we. Because the individualism is falling away. Because people are becoming woke. Your children are more woke than you were. Never denounce your children. Try to understand them because they have a lot to offer you. Your children are your best teachers. And while you think you're doing all the teaching and the telling and the mothering, you really need to be doing the nurturing and the listening and the holding. You need to hold space for your children. And trust me, I have a 26-year-old and a 5-year-old. I learned that the very, very long way. The long way. It doesn't have to be hard. When you come into a sense of understanding yourself, understanding your purpose, your mission, and that you are divinely created with a set of skill sets to help weave the fabric of this collective, and that you are individual. It doesn't matter if somebody's doing the same thing that you're doing. So what? They are not you. They're not you. Okay? Oh, Mike, you just learned about your human design. What are you? Ooh, let me guess. No, I ain't gonna guess. It's terrible guessing. I'm guessing Mike is... Yeah, it's too hard. I mean, I know it's only 5, but I think I'd be throwing... I don't like to guess. I like to really know. I'd love to know what your human design is, Mike. I'd love to know more about that. It'd be fun to know, just watching you and watching you do your thing. It's very interesting. Among more women than men, too, you know? It's pretty dope. Of course you are. Yeah, of course you are. Tractor, generator, huh? Doing all the hard work for the people. Yes. So glad that you are here. I'm so glad that you guys was able to join me. I'm going to go more into this topic. If you are dating or starting to date, if you are interested in healing your relationships with men, if you are ready to do the work, clean up the energy of the collective, and start to really, really come back to love, I am doing a 7-day workshop called Sentience. It is in its third day, and it's 7 p.m. EST time. I am going to upgrade that to 1 p.m. EST on our next 4 sessions. Again, it's a free workshop. And what you also need to know about Sentience is that it is going to be free for 30 days. After 30 days, it will go up to $111, and you can have the workshop there. And we are going to continue Sentience for 90 days. And you can extend that journey for $1,111 in the den with me. I would love to have you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am Tanya Emanuel. I'm the High Definition Mentor. And for real, it's all about getting out of your emotions and in your bag. I love you. Peace.